welcome to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Week 5. It sounded like you didn't watch too many of the games last week, Danny, but which ones caught your eye?
The Vikings won pretty much only.
Wow, 28-0, and then it got really close. Well, it got, 28-22 was the closest it got.
Probably.
And then I think Darnold drove them down to kick a field goal, and it was pretty much over after that. Wait a minute. Green Bay scored again, and then they tried an onside kick. Did you see that play?
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't, I don't think they got it. They tried to punt it, didn't they? Or drop kick it. He let it hit the ground, and then he kicked it.
Weird.
Yeah, it was weird. So you did not see the Bears game?
No.
Big
But
win
I
over
saw
the
the
Rams.
highlights.
Caleb Williams played his best game. I mean, he just did what the defense... He took what the defense gave them.
DeAndre Swift got a good running touchdown.
Big game. Yeah, he had that 36-yard touchdown run, and he had, I think, he had 70 some yards receiving, 90 rushing. He was really effective. It was his best game as a Bear. And the defense came up with a few big plays. Caleb made some, good throws, no mistakes, and the Bears win. How would you like to hear about the standings and how we're doing?
I bet I did fine, but not great.
You did really well last week. You had 12 wins and 4 losses.
Which ones was I wrong?
Which ones were you wrong on? You picked the Saints over the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
You picked the Eagles over Tampa. You picked Pittsburgh over Indy. And you picked Miami over Tennessee. Well, Miami got crushed. But then I went 11-5. So one game worse than you. And
how are we doing this year?
On the year? Well, I'll tell you first what Grandpa, my dad, your Grandpa Tim, he made picks last week. He tied you 12-4. He went the same. On the season, you have 36 winners. I have 36 winners. Dead heat, tied. Against the point spread, though, you are way ahead of me. You have 34 wins, and I have 26 wins. You have a winning record, 8 games over 500. I'm 10 games under. So, you're doing much better against the spread than I am. I wanted to tell you there are 4 teams that aren't playing this week.
Okay.
Detroit, Chargers, Eagles, Titans. Any of those teams? You didn't see the Lions game on Monday night? Man, Goff he was perfect. He did not throw one
in. Who did they play?
Seattle.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Seahawks.
I did.
Goff threw 18 passes, completed all 18 of them.
I heard they got a pick 6.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I don't remember that.
Or no, he got pushed out.
Like the 10 or something.
Yeah.
I think I did see that play. Or maybe was that the Metcalf fumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That was so close to his knee being down. But it was out. Well, so we're tied picking winners. You've been really good against the spread. How should we start it off here, week 5 on Thursday Night Football?
Buccaneers, Falcons.
Yeah. Atlanta won a game. Do you remember how the Bears won week 1 against Tennessee?
Yeah.
They kicked a couple field goals. They had a punt block touchdown, and then they had a pick 6. They had no offensive touchdowns. The Falcons win over the Saints, very similar to that. They had a pick 6. They had a punt to New Orleans where the punt returner for the Saints dropped it. The ball went into the end zone, and the Falcons got a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
And then they kicked a bunch of field goals, and they won. They beat New Orleans. Tampa, they beat Philly in the playoffs last year. They pounded them again. Yeah.
I heard that Young Who guy kicked the winning
Younghoe Koo, 58-yarder, his longest ever. It's funny because he's usually a staple of my fantasy football teams. I try to get him on my team. Yep. but I haven't gotten a
Who
chance
got
this
him?
year. Somebody picked him. I forget who drafted him, but then they released him. They cut him, and I could have taken him. I took the Bears kicker, Cairo Santos, instead.
Who's doing better?
Koo would have actually won me the game last week. So if I had I trusted that Younghoe Koo was my guy, I would have won the game. And instead, I picked Cairo Santos like a Bears homer, and I lost in fantasy. But oh well. Getting back to Tampa, though, they beat Philly in the playoffs last year pretty handily. They beat them pretty badly too on Sunday, 33-16, after that surprising loss against the Broncos. So Tampa 3-1, Atlanta 2-2. I don't feel like Cousins is playing very well for the Falcons. I mean, no touchdowns last week. What do you think about this one?
Well, I'm feeling Bucks,
Me too.
and my score is 21-17.
Okay, so I've got Tampa 27, Atlanta 16. I just think Cousins, he's not getting it done, and at some point they have to start clicking, but right now Tampa's playing pretty well. Okay, this game, first of the London games. This one's going to be on at 8:30 in the morning, local time, for us. Yeah, so it's like a game all by itself, and
What time will it be in London?
they're probably 6 hours or something ahead of us, so it might be like 2:30 in the afternoon, something like that. I'm not sure, something around there. So who is it though? Who's playing?
Jets Vikings.
Jets Vikings. So there are two teams that are 4-0 in the NFL right now. Can you name them?
Vikings.
Oh, you're gonna cheat? Think Super Bowl. Think.
Right, Chiefs.
Yes. So who'd have thunk it that the Vikings with Sam Darnold at quarterback would have beaten the Texans, would have beaten the 49ers, would have beaten the Packers at Lambeau? I mean, wow. I'm impressed. They got up 28-0 on the Packers, cut it to 28-22, and the Vikings still escaped with a win. So I would say that's impressive. You could look at it two ways, like, wow, they started so awesome, or, oh my God, it's so scary, they almost lost. Well, they didn't really almost lose. I mean, the Packers got it to within 6, and then I think the Vikings had the ball, and they scored. So it was always at least 2 possessions. The Jets, what a laughing stock. They lost against Denver like you predicted. Nice upset. That was a good pick. Rodgers got sacked 5 times. Oh, boo-hoo. And he didn't practice, or he practiced in a limited fashion because his knee is swollen. Oh, poor Rodgers.
So he's out?
He's not out. He'll play, but sometimes on Wednesdays is the first practice week in the NFL. They'll give a guy like Rodgers, just let him watch on the sideline. He doesn't really need practice on Wednesday to play on Sunday. So he practiced a little bit today, I guess, but not fully. So do the Vikings keep their undefeated streak going in London? Oh yeah?
I have a big score.
Big score?
But small for the Jets.
Okay.
7-27.
27-7 purple. Well, most of the time I don't like picking the Vikings, but it's almost like my hatred for Aaron Rodgers just makes me want the Vikings to win. I know it's worse for the Bears if the Vikings win, but I think I'm going to pick it to happen, and I kind of want it to happen. Just bury Rodgers. Just end his season. Vikings 24, Jets 16. Let's go to, there are 6 games at noon. What is the first?
I have a really close one for this, Ravens-Bengals.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be kind of a hard game to figure out. Cincinnati beat Carolina for their first win.
Obvious.
But I mean, whoop-de-doo if they beat Carolina.
Doesn't tell me a lot.
No, not at all. And Baltimore, though, they pasted the Bills. Derrick Henry, first play of the game, I think, 87-yard touchdown run. He ran for, I think, 199 yards, just short of 200.
Well, Uncle Chris must be doing great.
I didn't see if he won his fantasy game, but
Wait,
yeah, Henry had a huge game.
We were playing him.
And you lost.
Probably.
Yeah, I think you did. So yeah, here come the Ravens. Started off real slow, but now all of a sudden your AFC Super Bowl team beat who they beat that other game? Well, they beat the Bills and they beat somebody. Oh, they beat the Dallas. So, but they're starting to roll. So, how do you feel? I think you kind of both like both these teams. So, I've got a very close game too.
I like the Bengals.
Obviously,
Bengals
Chase
better.
supporter. Yeah.
So, I have a really, really close game.
I've got a razor thin close game too.
20-21.
Who?
Ravens.
Okay, well, I'm going to be pretty close to you because I also have the Ravens. I also have a 1-point win by the Ravens. But I've got both teams scoring 6 more points. 27-26 Ravens. So that would be a great game. And it's in Cincinnati, so I give the Bengals a shot. But their defense, got to play a little better. And the way the Ravens looked on Sunday night, ooh, look out. Okay, this game is not the best on the schedule, but not the worst. Who plays?
Colts Jaguars.
Yeah, the Colts got what I would say no, it was kind of a surprising win over Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh was undefeated. The Colts were playing at home. But in that game, Anthony Richardson, their quarterback, got a little dinged up. Didn't finish the game. Jonathan Taylor, their running back, got a little dinged up. Didn't finish the game. Don't know if they're going to play here against Jacksonville.
They're the only good players on the team.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, there might be a couple guys on defense, but I can't think of who. So you're right. And Richardson, I mean, he's a good runner, and he can throw the deep ball. He will miss a guy standing right at the staircase there. I mean, he's not good.
But he can throw the deep ball.
Yeah, he throws a sweet deep ball, yes. Now the Jags, they had a late lead at Houston and blew it with about 30 seconds left. So they are the only 0-4 team in the league. Do the Jags get that elusive first victory, or will the Colts improve to 3-2? Will they get their third straight win?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, one of those will happen? Okay, tell me which.
Colts.
Colts are going to get the W? What do you think?
20-17.
20-17, you think Trevor Lawrence is going to keep struggling a little bit? Okay, that would scare me a little bit if that happens, because the Bears game after they play Carolina this week is Jacksonville, and it's in London. I don't like the idea of the Bears playing the Jags if they don't have a win yet. You don't want to be that team to be the first one that loses to the Jags, right? But getting back to this game, Indy and Jacksonville, the Jags are favored by 3, which is strange for a team that has no wins, but I think people in Vegas are concerned if Richardson and Taylor are going to even play. So I've got Jacksonville sneaking out a win, 23-21. I think they're getting W number 1.
Okay.
So now this game looks like the worst on the schedule, I'm afraid. What is it?
Dolphins, Patriots.
Now the Dolphins, since Tua got hurt, have played 2.5 games. They have scored exactly 15 points in those 2.5 games. That's not a lot. Now the Patriots, the last 2 games, they've only scored 16 points. So both these offenses really struggling. New England's favored by 1 point. What do you feel is going to happen here? These teams have some quarterback problems.
I feel Patriots.
Yeah.
And I feel Patriots 20-17.
Okay. I've got a score that I just think these teams are not going to be able to score points. So, but I agree with you. Patriots are going to get the W at home against whoever Miami throws out there at quarterback. I got Patriots 12 and Dolphins 10. And we'll see if Quincy invades the room here or not. Okay. Here's a game that at least one of the teams is playing pretty well. What is it?
Commanders, Browns.
Yeah, the Browns. They have had some shaky run defense this year. They gave up 150 yards running and more than 5 yards a carry against Vegas, and they lost to the Raiders. And Washington is running the ball very well.
Very.
200 yards rushing against Arizona, greater than 5 yards a carry. And the thing about a guy like Jaden Daniels, he doesn't have to run it every time. It puts a lot of pressure on the edges of the defense, and then you can hand it off to Brian Robinson right up the middle. You know? So Robinson got a bunch of yards rushing. They had a guy, I think his name was Jeremy McNichols, have 2 touchdowns rushing and a bunch of yards. So with Daniels at quarterback, it just makes them a very powerful running team. And like the Bengals, they tried to stop that running game. Well, then all of a sudden, Jaden Daniels slung the ball all over the field. So they're kind of looking like a fun team, the Commanders. How do you see this one shaking out?
I'm feeling Commanders.
Me too.
Obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
31-20.
Okay. Funny. I have a score that if both teams kick the field goal in your score, it would be what I pick. I'm gonna pick Commanders 28. Or wait a minute, what'd you pick? 31-20. I mean, if in my game there were two field goals kicked, it would match your score. I'm picking Commanders 28 and Cleveland 17.
Okay.
So only a field goal, pretty much less than what you picked. Well, we have 2 more games at noon on Sunday. This one's a big one in the AFC.
27.
You caught yourself. You didn't say it all. What's the game?
Bills, Texans.
There you go. It's all good. Both these teams won their divisions last year, and both have 3 wins and 1 loss. Gosh, the Bills got blasted by the Ravens, though, last week. That was a little surprising that they didn't even put up a fight. Let's see, Houston needed that late touchdown from C.J. Stroud to, I don't remember who he threw it to, just to beat the Jags. This game's in Houston. It's funny, when I first looked at the point spread of this game, the Texans were a small favorite. Then when I looked yesterday, Buffalo was a 1-point favorite. So we're calling Buffalo a 1-point favorite. What do you think? Does the home team get the win or the team that's expected to win by 1?
Bills.
You got Bills? What kind of a score?
27-21.
Ooh.
I don't have it on this, but...
You want to write it down? 27-21. Funny because my score is almost the same as yours. I'm going Buffalo 27, Texans 23. So within 2 points, we're very similar on a couple scores here. Oh, this is my favorite game of the week.
Okay. Panthers, Bears.
Yeah. So the Bears, like we started the show with, DeAndre Swift got the ball rolling. They actually put an offensive lineman at fullback. Do you know what fullback is?
No.
Sometimes it's the running back who stands in front of your main running back. So he'll mostly block. But the Bears put an offensive lineman at fullback, so a really big guy. And Roschon Johnson just boom, touchdown. Boom, big first down conversion late in the game. It was good to see that the offensive coordinator, who I ripped apart in last week's episode, he figured some things out. You know, sometimes you just run the ball down the middle. And that's the shortest point between two, well, it's the shortest distance between 2 points. Just run the ball straight. So that was nice to see that the Bears got the running game going. The defense forced 2 turnovers, strip sack of Matt Stafford, and then a late interception by Jaquan Brisker. It was big. As for, funny statistic. The Bears right now have the NFL's longest home winning streak. 7 wins in a row at home. This is another chance at revenge for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was the Bengals' old quarterback. Now he's Carolina's quarterback. He lost to the Bengals this week. He played 1 season for the Bears, played in about 6 games. He's got a chance at revenge this week against his former team. Will the Red Rifle get revenge, or do the Chicago Bears continue the NFL's longest home winning streak?
The Bears will. And I have a big score for the Bears.
We got a decent sized score.
Big one.
Mine's not probably as big as yours,
Not
but let's
so
hear.
big, but
Let's
pretty
hear it.
big.
Let's hear it. Well, what do you think's going to happen first? Tell me, is it going to be Swift? Is it going to be Caleb? The defense?
Swift and Caleb, Cole Kmet, and DJ Moore.
All of them.
All
Electric.
getting it done.
Nice. I like the sound of it.
But there's going to be more touchdowns than just them getting touchdowns.
Oh, good. Good.
40, 20,
40,
just 20.
40 to 20? Okay, that'd be a nice beat down. I'd like to see a 20-point win. I've got a 17-point win, so I'm feeling, I was looking at, okay. I'm feeling good about this one. I've got Bears 30, Panthers 13. I hope they don't, spoil that pick, because I'm feeling pretty confident. And I'm feeling pretty confident that they're going to crush them. The other thing about this game is, remember the Panthers? They wanted Bryce Young so bad that the Bears traded with them. Basically, the trade right now, it looks like the Panthers got Bryce Young. The Bears got Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Tyreek Stevenson, Darnell Wright, and a 2nd-round pick next year for Bryce Young, who's sitting on the Panthers bench. Nice trade, Carolina, huh? Oops. Okay, we're on to the 3 o'clock games, and I'm not looking at your sheet. What do we got?
27.
Twice.
Again.
Get it together, man. What is it?
Raiders, Broncos.
Raiders, Broncos.
Wow.
I'm sure you'll get the next one. I know you'll get the next one. 2 AFC West rivals, and they're both, surprisingly, 2 wins, 2 losses. And these teams, people didn't really expect them to be so good. Bo Nix, against the Jets. Denver won. But Bo Nix had a historically bad game. He threw 25 passes, and they only picked up 60 yards. That's like if you got about 2, sometimes 3 yards every pass. That's not going to get it done, Bo. The Raiders, you talked about Devontae Adams. He'll have a couple touchdowns in last week's game. He didn't even play. He was hurt. And now guess what? This week he said, "Hey Raiders, I would prefer it if you traded me." Yeah. So Adams is looking to be traded. I don't think he's going to play another down for the Raiders until he's traded.
Oh.
I don't think he's going to play any until he gets his wish. This game's in Denver. I don't think Devontae Adams will play, but what do you got?
I got Raiders still.
Me too. Or no, never mind. Oops.
27-21.
27-21 Raiders. I'm going to go with the home team. It's not going to cover the point spread, but I'm going to go Denver 17, Vegas 16. I think Denver's defense is playing pretty well. Bo Nix might be playing terribly, but their defense is playing good. Okay, here's a game in the NFC West.
Cardinals and 49ers.
Right. So a couple weeks ago I said, I like what I see out of the Cardinals. Oh boy, do I feel like a more on now. They got beat by Detroit, and then they got crushed by Jaden Daniels and the Commanders last week, 42-14. San Francisco's back to 2-2, and last week they got Kittle and Debo back. So
That's an upgrade.
McCaffrey's not ready yet. Still hurt.
Wow.
But Mason's still playing okay for them. So, and you know, they didn't need much against the Patriots. Jordan Mason was their backup running back who's playing pretty well. But they didn't need a whole lot to beat New England. You know, Arizona might be a little bit better team. We'll see. Who do you see thriving in this game?
49ers.
Okay, not surprised. Yep.
Okay.
You need a glass of
49ers
water.
49ers 17 to 10.
17-10 Niners. I've got a few more points, and I've got the Niners covering the point spread, which you don't. I got Niners 31, Zona 20. Two more 3 o'clock games. What is it?
You know who and Rams.
I do know who. The team that the Vikings beat on Sunday. Jordan Love was back. He threw a bunch of interceptions. If you're a Packer fan, which we are not, but if you were, you could look at the game half glass full and say, wow, they played so great in the second half. Or you look at it glass half empty and say, holy cow, how did we get down 28 points at home to a division rival? That's embarrassing. I would like to think that they're looking at it that way, that they were embarrassed, because they were. Their kicker shanked 2 field goals. That hurt them. They got a shaky kicker. The Rams, against the Bears, their run defense, I mean, the Bears couldn't run the ball all year until they played the Rams. And then the Rams defense.
The Rams are supposed to ram people in the NFL.
Yeah, well, they didn't on Sunday. They forced no turnovers to rookie quarterback. So I don't think the Rams defense, they are missing Aaron Donald, you know, because he retired. He's not coming back. So the Rams are going to have to figure it out. Does the team that you don't like get it done on Sunday, or do the team that ran the opponent get it done?
Sadly, you know who is probably going to beat them 27-17. Maybe not the score, but...
My score is almost the same. Again, I'm going to pick the Packers for the first time all year, because I saw what the Rams had to offer last week. Puka and Cooper Kupp are not coming back yet. So I'm going this team that we do not like, 27, LA Rams 21. So we are almost the same on 3 games. Sunday, this is the last game at 3. What is it?
Cowboys Steelers.
Oops. Do we have one above it?
Giants Seahawks.
There we go. The Giants, 5 field goals against Dallas, no touchdowns, and a loss. Malik Neighbors, their rookie quarterback, got a concussion. Don't know if he's going to play. That would hurt Danny Dimes' chances of doing anything. Seattle, 38 first downs. They got 38 first downs on Monday night against Detroit and lost. That was the most number of first downs a team has ever gotten in a loss. So they just moved the ball up and down the field but didn't score points. And Detroit shredded them. I mean, whatever Detroit wanted to do, run, pass, they did it. So what do you see going down in the Pacific Northwest on Sunday there?
Well, have a homer
pick?
Seahawks 37-27.
Okay, I've got a little bit bigger of a blowout. I'll go Seahawks 30, and we'll go Giants 12. Sunday night. Who is it?
Cowboys Steelers.
Yeah, these teams have played in a couple Super Bowls, actually. In the 70s and in the 1990s, they played once. I think Dallas won 1 and the Steelers won 2. Dallas beat the Giants, but so what? You know, good for you, Dallas. The Giants stink. Pittsburgh lost their first game to the Colts on Sunday. Sounds like Russell Wilson's still not really healthy, so Fields is still quarterback 1. I don't know what's going to happen when Wilson is healthy, but Fields played pretty well. He did have a bad fumble, but he had a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. It wasn't really his fault that the Steelers lost. So, Sunday night, how do you feel this one's going to go?
Cowboys.
Oh, a little bit of a surprise. Okay.
This is the surprise I was.
This was your upset? Okay, I would say this is a legit upset. Dallas on the road. Yeah.
27-17.
Okay. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 21 and Dallas 17.
Okay.
So we're different on that game. We're pretty much the same on a lot of these games, though, it seems like. Only one more. If your mom sees us, show her a 1. Oh, she's got it. Okay.
And finally, only one Monday night.
Yeah. What is it?
Saints Chiefs.
Yeah. After a hot start, the Saints, now they've lost 2 games in a row. They lost to Philly and they lost to Atlanta. Both games they lost late. Kansas City escaped Los Angeles with a win over the Chargers, 17-10. But did you see Rashee Rice got hurt? I think it was on a play where Mahomes threw an interception, and then the guy was running down, and Mahomes was trying to make a tackle or something, and Mahomes ran right into Rice's knee. And they don't know if Rashee Rice is going to miss the whole season. They haven't called him out for the year yet, but your mom's making faces. Rashee Rice is not out for the season yet, but I mean he's going to miss a lot of time. Would be interesting. I don't think the Raiders would do it, but Devontae Adams, if you want to be traded, seems like the Chiefs kind of need a guy. But the rumor, I don't think that'll happen. So, Chiefs banged up, Saints 2 losses in a row. Is this going to be a good Monday night game or kind of a blowout?
Pretty big blowout.
Okay. I bet I know which team you're going
Chiefs,
with.
obviously.
Me too.
31-17.
Okay, I've got 10 less points for the Chiefs, but 21-17. I think it's going to be a little close. I think the Saints will put up a fight. So what's your favorite game of this week that you're looking forward to? Bears, Panthers, yeah. I want to see a beatdown. I mean, I hope it's over before halftime, where it's just like blowout city. But if you're up at 8:30 in the morning, you can catch the Vikings game too. So maybe as you're eating, pancakes or something, you can just watch a little football in London. So that's kind of exciting. I always like the 8:30 games because it's just 3 more hours of me sitting on my couch watching football. So pretty awesome. Should we? Bam. Thanks for watching, people. It was apparently a lot of bots that watched us, so, but we still got our loyal fans, right? So we're happy about that. Peace, people.